Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Oval reproductive body of a fowl, especially a hen, used as food. One of the two male reproductive glands that produce spermatozoa and secrete androgens. Animal reproductive body consisting of an ovum or embryo together with nutritive and protective envelopes, especially the thin-shelled reproductive body laid by e.g. female birds. Coat with beaten egg. Egg a schnitzel. Throw eggs at. Oval reproductive body of a fowl, especially a hen, used as food. A lavish dance requiring formal attire. United States comedian best known as the star of a popular television program, 1911 to 1989. A solid projectile that is shot by a musket. They had to carry a ramrod as well as powder and ball. A ball game played with a bat and ball between two teams of 9 players. Teams take turns at bat trying to score runs. He played baseball in high school. A compact mass. A ball of mud caught him on the shoulder. One of the two male reproductive glands that produce spermatozoa and secrete androgens. She kicked him in the balls and got away. An object with a spherical shape. A ball of fire. A more or less rounded anatomical body or mass. The ball at the base of the thumb. A pitch that is not in the strike zone. He threw 9 straight balls before the manager yanked him. A spherical object used as a plaything. He played with his rubber ball in the bathtub. Form into a ball by winding or rolling. Ball wool. Round object that is hit or thrown or kicked in games. The ball traveled 90 miles per hour on his serve. The people assembled at a lavish formal dance. The ball was already emptying out before the fire alarm sounded. One of the two male reproductive glands that produce spermatozoa and secrete androgens. A pulley block at the head of a topmast. One of the two male reproductive glands that produce spermatozoa and secrete androgens. Someone who is so ardently devoted to something that it resembles an addiction. A car nut. Half the width of an M. A whimsically eccentric person. One of the two male reproductive glands that produce spermatozoa and secrete androgens. A small, usually square or hexagonal, metal block with internal screw thread to be fitted onto a bolt. Egyptian goddess of the sky. Gather nuts. Usually large hard-shelled seed. One of the two male reproductive glands that produce spermatozoa and secrete androgens. Any of various deciduous terrestrial orchids having fleshy tubers and flowers in erect terminal racemes. One of the two male reproductive glands that produce spermatozoa and secrete androgens. One of the two male reproductive glands that produce spermatozoa and secrete androgens. A substance that can be used or prepared for use as food. A substance that can be used or prepared for use as food. Usually plural, consumer goods sold by a grocer. A gland in which gametes, sex cells, are produced. The reproductive organs of a man. A gland in which gametes, sex cells, are produced. The female reproductive cell, the female gamete. The female reproductive cell, the female gamete. Put a coat on. Cover the surface of. Furnish with a surface. Appear or become visible. Make a showing. I hope the list key is going to surface again. Information that has become public. The facts had been brought to the surface. Come to the surface. The outermost level of the land or sea. Earthquakes originate far below the surface. A device that provides reactive force when in motion relative to the surrounding air, can lift or control a plane in flight. A superficial aspect as opposed to the real nature of something. It was not what it appeared to be on the surface. On the surface. Surface materials of the moon. The extended two-dimensional outer boundary of a three-dimensional object. They skimmed over the surface of the water. The outer boundary of an artifact or a material layer constituting or resembling such a boundary. There is a special cleaner for these surfaces. Put a coat on. Cover the surface of. Furnish with a surface. Coat the cake with chocolate. A thin layer covering something. A second coat of paint. Form a coat over. Dirt had coated her face. Growth of hair or wool or fur covering the body of an animal. An outer garment that has sleeves and covers the body from shoulder down, worn outdoors. Cover or provide with a coat. Attack and bombard with or as if with missiles. Pelt the speaker with questions. The dressed hairy coat of a mammal. Rain heavily. Body covering of a living animal. Cast, hurl, or throw repeatedly with some missile. They pelted each other with snowballs. Throw bombs at or attack with bombs. A large sham, the base member of the sham family. Cast, hurl, or throw repeatedly with some missile. Address with continuously or persistently, as if with a barrage. The governor was bombarded with requests to grant a pardon to the convicted killer. Direct high-energy particles or radiation against. A testis that fails to move into the scrotum as the male fetus develops. A man's testicles, from Cockney rhyming slang, cobblers all rhymes with ball. Nonsense. I think that is a load of cobblers. A testis that fails to move into the scrotum as the male fetus develops. Undescended testicles have an increased risk for cancer. Fish eggs or egg-filled ovary, having a grainy texture. Eggs of female fish. The egg mass or spawn of certain crustaceans such as the lobster. The eggs or egg-laden ovary of a fish. A luminance unit equal to 1 candle per square meter measured perpendicular to the rays from the source. Egg or young of an insect parasitic on mammals, especially a sucking louse, often attached to a hair or item of clothing. Eggs of a silkworm. Call forth. Lay spawn. The salmon swims upstream to spawn. The mass of eggs deposited by fish or amphibians or mollusks. External male sex organs. The reproductive system of males. External male sex organs. External male sex organs.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.